Macau has registered more than 30 cases of COVID-19 infection so far. While officials have already answered numerous questions about the pandemic in a daily press briefing, there are still issues that the public is seeking clarification. And today we have invited Dr. Jorge from the Health Bureau, who is going to tell us more about this COVID-19 pandemic and what it's like to be on the front line of this war against the new coronavirus. Thank you very much, Doctor, for coming to us.
Thank you for inviting the Health Bureau to come here to clarify one more time about the COVID-19. I'm the spokesman of the Health Bureau, so everything that doubts that can have from your part and the population can ask, and I will do my best to clarify everything.
That's wonderful. And the first question would be that given we have seen the number of cases spike in the recent days, and some people are actually pretty concerned, but do they have the reason to be worried? Should they be worried about this jump in the number of cases?
We need to see first the difference between the cases that happen in the community and the cases that happen when it's imported cases. In the beginning, our plan was to control and reduce, and what we done is that we can, in this case, we stop for 40 days any infection by COVID-19 in our community. This was the main situation that we do. We do this, and we do this very well with the help from the population. And during these all days, we don't have any infection. So these cases, these imported cases that we now have since some days ago, and is spreading with a lot of numbers, and everybody say, what happened, we will have this again, is totally different, because these are imported cases. Imported cases means that come from outside. This was supposed to have after we control the situation inside. So what we had is that in the imported cases, we know that in the beginning, now we're doing a history about the COVID-19 happening in the Wuhan, and after spread to all the China province, and after, okay, we were in Macau, Hong Kong, and so on, in the Asia part, and after go to Europe, States, and now it's going to Africa. So this is normal according with a pandemic situation. So now what we do is that these cases are imported. It's normal because the people are coming back to Macau. The people, because particularly the students, are coming back to Macau because they will start soon the schools again, or in university in the first stage. And later, they probably will be in the other secondary school and so on. And in these cases, we found that the first case, the imported case, was a case from Portugal. After was Spain, and we have more countries involved in this, like Philippines, Indonesia, Great Britain, and States. So these cases are situations that we can control, and we are doing very well, because when they come to Macau, what we do, we send them immediately to the hospital. They do the test to confirm or not they have the infection with COVID-19. If they have the infection, they will be admitted in the infection unit and start the treatment. But if the results are negative, what we do, we send them, as you know, we already have 7 hotels involved, and we send them to the quarantine. And during this period of quarantine, we are isolated. We measure the temperature 2 times daily, and the poop goes with the contact with the case. So the suspect case have the proper clothes for not to get the infection, of course. And during the day also, they will have meals during the situation. They will have the meals when they are in the hotel. And after these 14 days, they will go back home if the tests are normal. During these 14 days, we also check the test 2 to 3 times. And during this period, what we do the swab of the nasopharyngeal secretions. If the test continue to be negative, after this period, they will go to their home, of course. So if you ask me, the population need to be worried about this. I think what our citizens need to do is continue to what they are doing very well. Keep washing the hands, keep using the mask, keep avoiding overcrowding places, and if they need to isolate for some reason, need to do this and don't go out. Because, as you know, this virus is a very contagious virus. This virus is a coronavirus. Coronavirus is not the first time affect people. This is a human-to-human contact, and it can be transmission. And coronavirus already was involved and was responsible for the SARS in 2002 and from the MERS in 2012. So this coronavirus, this COVID-19, nowadays is a coronavirus that the genetic point of view, the RNA is similar to the SARS coronavirus. It's in 80%. So at this moment, we are fighting this coronavirus, but how to say, we know that we have the experience of SARS, and even in the treatment, we are doing the same thing as in the SARS because we have good results. But the coronavirus, as I said, we also have 7 coronaviruses that affect human to human, transmission human to human, but are 4 that are coronavirus that can cause, some mild symptoms like cough or even some upper respiratory infection. And this can be the cause of some known as the common colds. And these coronavirus are responsible for 10 to 30% of common colds. So, but this don't harm so much like those coronavirus in SARS, MERS, and now in the COVID-19 in these days. So this COVID-19 has a period of incubation of 2 to 14 days, have a peak on the 5th day, and during this period, it can be, the transmission can happen. But one thing is important to say is that in the beginning, when they appear, the people and the scientific society and study thinks that this was only caused by the droplets of the saliva, and nowadays we know that this is not like this. In Turkey, the COVID-19 can appear 3 hours in the air, can stay 4 hours in the copper surface, can stay 4 days in the glasses or in the wood, or 5 days even in the paper or in the plastic. So it can be everywhere. So this virus is invisible. Nowadays we are in the war, not against a country or not a nuclear war, but Macau and all countries in all world, as you know, now almost 200 countries are involved with more than 400,000, almost 500,000 cases, with mortality is very high. It's less than the SARS and MERS. At the SARS, the mortality was 9.6%, and the MERS was 34.4%. And now the mortality in the COVID-19 is around 3.5%. But in some places, the situation is worse, like in Italy, that the percentage of deaths are around 9.5 to 10%. We can talk about this later if we have time. Yeah. Why is the reason? And so the coronavirus, at this stage, what happened, what are the symptoms? The symptoms are like like the flu, but it's not like a flu. I think the main error was the initial thinking that this would be like a flu, and the people put this in their head, and after nowadays we know that some countries they don't follow the orientation by the government or the health bureau to do the things to keep at home because they say, oh, this is like a flu, and it's not like a flu. This is more severe than like a flu. This is a pandemic, and the mortality is also higher. So. What are the symptoms? The symptoms in 80% of cases have fever and cough. But the fever in the beginning can be very mild fever, 37.3, 5, 4, 37.8. And after, during the period of more days later, can go up to 39, 40 degrees. And can cough, also have cough, dry cough. And also can cause weakness, muscle pain. In some cases, also can cause diarrhea and stool loss in this situation. But most of the time, it's more than 3 times daily. This is considered diarrhea. And abdominal pain. All these situations are the main symptoms of COVID-19.
You mentioned dry cough.
Yes.
Some people would think, what is dry cough? Cough is cough. What is a dry cough?
Dry cough
like a wet cough?
Dry with sputum is different. Dry cough means when you cough, you cannot hear the secretions. It's like when you have an allergy, you see some itching in the throat, and you start to cough, and you don't feel the secretions. This is dry cough.
Okay.
So it's different. So these symptoms can appear in 80% of cases, but in 20% of cases, the patients can be asymptomatic. So this means what? Means that they don't have any symptoms. And these people is the people that has more possibility to spread the disease, because we don't know who can be me, can be you, or another people with no fever. So in this case, it's very important what the measures we are doing now in Macau. And I want to say, Health Bureau representative, I'm very happy that Macau is nowadays considered the top, the sample of the world of controlling disease. And everybody says sometimes, even my colleagues, well, Macau is a small city. Yes, Macau is a small city, but we need to remember that Macau has around 6,500 people. But we have around 40 million of tourists that are coming every year, at least last year. So we have a lot of people involved. We have the most increased density, populational density in the world. So this is a place that, probably we have a lot of cases. Why this don't happen? Because our government and our health bureau and the people that are involved in the first line, like other department, they do the measures was very well done and proposed to the population, to the people, to the citizens. So because of this, what are the measures that we use to control this? We can talk about this. So the measure first is the control of the temperature.
Sure.
Why? As I said before, 80% have fever, so we can control. And the control of the temperature, we start in the first day after the COVID-19. At that time was not this name, was coronavirus, new coronavirus, was reported to the WHO on 31 of December by China. In the 1st of January, we have a plane from Wuhan that came to Macau, and our colleagues go there to the plane and to check the temperature of the people that was inside. So we start all in the beginning. This is very important. All was done in the beginning. And for situations like a pandemic, we need to have courage to do the actions. If you do courage, we gain time. And we have fever to do something, we lost the opportunity, and the virus can be spread more. So this was very important, the measure of the temperature, the using of the mask. Why? Because we have 20% of people that don't have fever and other symptoms. So even using the mask and using the mask correctly. And for this reason, we have done a lot of information to the citizens how to use the mask, because sometimes even nowadays I saw in some conference all over the world that some people still use the mask and put the mask here in the neck.
Yeah.
This is not correct, because we infect the mask.
Yes.
You need to put the mask by the elastic. It's different. So this is very important for the population. And the citizens see it very well, the people using masks. We nowadays, we know even the control period of 40 days, they still keeping using masks in the bus, in the taxis, in the shoppings, every part they are using masks. Okay, we don't need to use masks at home, of course. But outside, and when we go outside for dinner or lunch, of course, we would need with the mask.
Yeah.
But at that place, at that moment, of course, it's better you stay in the place that at least 2 meters from the other, because we know that during this, when it's less than 2 meters, you have more possibility to be infected.
Yes.
But when it's less than 1 meter, during half hour, without a mask, the risk of infection is very, very high.
Okay.
So it's better to at least 2 meters. So this is the second thing that we done, was using the mask.
Yes.
Third was teaching the citizens to wash their hands.
Okay.
Wash your hands is very important. Even when you use a mask, you need first to wash the hand, put the mask, and after you take out the mask, wash your hand again.
Yes.
But wash your hand is not only wash the hand.
Yes.
You need to wash during at least 20 seconds.
Okay.
You wash the palm, this part, this way, this way, this way, the thumb, the fingers, and the nails in both places, and after the wrist.
Yes.
This is very important during 20 seconds. So this was the third part, washing the hands. The fourth measure was avoid overcrowding. And for this, we know that, and after the third case in Macau, the government stopped the Chinese New Year celebration. This was very courageous decision, because everybody is the most important celebration in China. So we stopped this. And after, even we stopped a lot of places, like even casinos. Was okay in the beginning, stop or not casinos, but after we increased the case, we stopped the casinos during 14 days. And after, when we restart again, only 1/3 was open. And with the indication that need to check the temperature, need to use the mask, and between the chairs need to be at least a distance. So the people has less possibility to be infected. So these measures was very important. And another measure that was important was what? Was the isolation.
Okay.
You remember that we never saw Macau with so many people. The streets was empty. Totally empty. You go to the shopping, empty. You go to the streets, empty. Every part, restaurant, empty. So the people who went to restaurant only were taken away. And this was very, very important. So avoid overcrowding, avoid crowding, and this was very important. So all these measures, isolation is very important. As I said, and I always tell everybody and every places that I go, that one thing we need to remember, okay? The virus, the COVID-19, he need people to spread. Need people to have more power. Need people to get more the mutations. So if they don't have people, if they don't have people to go there to be infected, or the people that touching in the table or in the glass and so on, the virus will more and more reduce the strength that he have, and also finally he will disappear. Is that what we want? Our society, Macau and all over the world, want to go back to the routine. And for sure, even all the government want the COVID-19 to disappear, because is, as you know, and everybody know, for the economic point of view, is very bad also.
Yeah.
So this measure was very important. And another measure was very, very important was the tests. We did a lot of tests, and we are keeping doing the tests.
Yeah.
Why the tests are so important? Because if you find one case, this case is positive, you need to check the epidemiology of the patient, when he was, which contacts he has, is the family, is another friend, was another place, and we go there to test them. So we can find the case 0, the case that have the disease and after spread to others. One, statistically point of view, one person that is infected can infect, in average, 3 to 6 people.
Oh, that's a lot, actually.
Yes, but some cases they can infect it more. This is only a statistic. So if you do this test more times, we can control better the situation. And we are doing this. We are doing, I can give you an example, in the patients that are admitted with infection in the hospital, and they can only discharge after the quarantine. After the quarantine, of course, if they have clinically well, this means no cough, no fever for 3 days, and at least 2 tests negatives from the secretions. This test is not at the same day. It's one in one day, another in another day. But after they discharge, they don't go home. They go, in this case, to another quarantine. Why? Because around 15% of cases, there can happen a relapse. So we need to keep checking the patients. So during this quarantine period, we check 3 more times. And after this period, we can say, okay, the file is closed. The patient is cured. So it's safe for the society, it's safe for the patient also. So it is very important, the test. All these measures, I think these measures are the key points of our situation in Macau and our example to the world. So, in my opinion, if we do this, the other part of the people can do also. Because I think we are doing very well, all the people are doing very well, but we need to remember always we need the cooperation of the citizens. If the citizens don't want to do this, if the citizens think, okay, this is already finished, we don't have any more cases, or in this situation, the citizens said, okay, I can go now with the friends, I don't need to use masks, I don't need to wash hands. This will be against in the community. This is what we don't want. We need to control the community, don't have any more cases, so we can control in the beginning the import cases.
So we know that you are a pediatrician, and it seems that people rarely pay attention to children in COVID-19 because somehow they are not getting infected as often as old people or even like ordinary adults. So because we have heard a lot about treating COVID-19 patients who are adults or even old people, but what about treating COVID-19 patients who are children? Can you share with us some cases that you have known from outside Macau? Because we know that we do not have COVID-19 patients who are underage in Macau.
Okay, about this situation, I can say one thing before I go to your question is that, okay, in the COVID-19, the age that is more affected, more risk, is more than 55 years old. There is some predominant in male than female. Yes, but it's more predominant, okay? And the COVID-19 affects most cases that have chronic disease. And also patients have their immune system with deficiency. So from those chronic situations like diabetes, like heart problems, like, for example, oncology patients, or under chemotherapy or radiotherapy, these patients are more risk to get this infection. Why, you ask, why the children are less affected? Okay, we know that it's not only children. If you see the percentage of cases, more than 39 years old, the percentage is 0.3%.
Okay.
Less than around 20 years old, less than 20 years old is around 0.2, and less than 10 years old is around less than 0.1%. So the younger people, in the theoretical point of view, they will get more infected because the immune system are not so good.
Yeah.
But this is not real.
Okay.
I will explain to you why. Because how to say, in the young people, they have in the beginning of their life, when they're born, they get all the vaccine, only the hepatitis vaccine, and until the 18 months, they get a lot of vaccines, and during the 5 and 6 years and 10 to 13 years, more vaccines. So we call the booster, okay? So and this at this place and this situation, the vaccines will stimulate the immune system. Because some of the vaccines are also virus vaccine. On the other hand, we can see that the children and the adolescent also, when they went to the school or the kindergarten, in this case the infants, they will get infections, particularly during the winter time and the spring. They get a lot of infections. If someone have one in the classroom, will
Everybody
be around all the people, will have runny nose and so on. So it's another situation that causes stimulation of the immune system.
Okay.
But as I said before, coronavirus is responsible, 4 of them, for 10 to 30% of situations of the common cold.
Yeah.
So this can cause, in some situation, all this together can stimulate the immune system and can also cause the so-called immune memory.
Okay.
So what this means that if I get the infection, okay, COVID-19 in child, if they have some infection before by another coronavirus, for example, or another virus, because the virus, the mutation is the virus, the gene of the virus is not DNA, it's RNA, it's different than the adults, but it's okay, it's their gene, and in that situation, then can have some cross reaction between them, and the child, because of this, is more have a better answer to new infection. Yeah. In this case, to the coronavirus, COVID-19. Okay. So, but one thing is important: they can have less infection, but they are most of the time subclinical. This means that they don't have too much symptoms, but they can also spread the virus to another people. Okay. So the transmission can be high also by the children. Yeah. Although they get less, but they can infect also the adults. Yeah. So you asked me about the treatment. Okay, we know the treatment for adults. Nowadays there are a lot of new papers talking about chloroquine. There's another for malaria or paludism treatment. We know a lot of antivirus treatment. Okay, what we are doing nowadays, we use antivirus that we use in the SARS. Okay. And its association of lopitomir and ritonavir is we call the Caletra. It's a name that everybody knows in the world. And we associate another medicine that is called azithromycin, and for the first-line treatment. This is for the adults. In the children, we can do the same. Okay. But what we do in the dose, because in children we don't treat with the adults. We treat by the in this case the kilos per kilos per day. Okay. If you have 20 kilos, we have 20 kilos per day of the dose of the antivirus. So in this situation, most of the time they are well and they can recover. I don't know any case of any child that died because of this. Okay. There are cases that they was ventilated, critical, inclusive, but they don't have any situation, any fatal case. Okay. So they have, I think, because this is statistic and it's reality also, they are more, although they are younger, they are more prepared to fight against this COVID-19. And you said that we don't have in Macau cases. We have 2 cases with younger patients.
Okay. Now we have.
Younger, yes. All these cases, these new cases of the import cases.
Yeah.
We have people, we have children less than 15 years old that need to do the treatment in 2 cases. So all the situation is that first, I think we need to clarify that first we need to control the community, yes. And after the import case we can control, putting them in quarantine, checking, testing.
Yeah.
This is the, how to say, the goal of the controlling of the COVID-19. In Macau, I think need to be all over the world, need to follow these steps because this is the only situation that we control the virus. Because if we can control in Macau, but we cannot control in another country, and after in another country can control and so on, because it's a pandemic, this will be very difficult to control in the next months. When it was in the SARS, it takes around 6 months to control everything. I think because this COVID-19 has spread already to, we have already around 200 countries in the world, the timing will be not the same, will be longer. Okay, and because some people said, okay, during the humidity, if you have more humidity and more hot, maybe they will be better, but not.
No.
Most of the time they can spread more.
Okay.
So in my opinion, we will still have COVID-19, not only in Macau, but import cases, not in the community, because the rest we are doing well. And I hope the citizens still keep doing this, and will never forget what they need to do.
Indeed.
And need to follow the orientations of the government and the health bureau to do the things. And sometimes we need to change the plan according to what happened. And we are doing this since the first case. So pay attention, because as you know, every day we have the press conference. We have new situations, sometimes not, but at least it's very important, so we can have some new situations that the citizens need to follow. I think with their experience that what we want is that stop the infection. I think they need to follow the orientation, so we can keep doing like this, and Macau be an example to the world. Keep only 10 cases in the community. We will have for sure more import case, because more students are coming until 31 of March. Today is 26. So I think during this record is 26, but I'm sure that until the end of the month and later we'll have more cases, import cases. But these cases will be controlled because we do the test in the beginning, and after we put them in quarantine.
Yes. Thank you very much, Doctor, for coming to our program today.
It's my pleasure. I hope after this we can clarify the doubts that some citizens have. And I just want to remember that we need to keep always pay attention, because we still don't win this war. Because this war, as I said, is not only Macau war. It's a world war against a virus. That is a very small virus, but it's controlling a lot of things. So we need to kill this virus. And to kill this virus, we need to be in the same side, the government and the citizens.
Indeed.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for joining us tonight. See you next time. Good night.